Have you ever wondered how a young man with no money in his pocket managed to create one of the world's best-selling brands? And what did he do when betrayed by those he trusted most? This is the incredible journey of Phil Knight, the genius behind Nike. Get ready to dive into a story filled with twists, challenges and triumphs. From obscurity to global dominance, discover how a simple idea transformed into a billion-dollar empire. So sit back and let's reveal the true story of Nike and the hidden cost of victory. Phil woke up in a cold sweat. He had dreamed that his life had no meaning, but upon opening his eyes, he realized it wasn't just a dream. He didn't know what to do. He decided to study journalism at the University of Oregon, where he discovered his passion for running. That's when he met Bill Bowerman, a legendary coach of Olympic athletes. Bowerman was more than just a coach. He also created new shoe designs to enhance athletes' performance. Phil and Bowerman became close friends, unaware that this friendship would give birth to one of the biggest sports companies in the world. After graduating, Phil felt lost. His dream of becoming a professional athlete had faded, and he had no clear direction. He tried to find meaning in the army, but left disappointed. Then, he decided to pursue an MBA at Stanford, where he had an idea that would change his life forever. Can Japanese sneakers do to German sneakers what Japanese cameras did to German cameras? Just as Nikon and Canon overtook German brands, Phil believed the same could happen with Adidas and Puma. No one took his idea seriously. He had no contacts in Japan and no experience in importing, but could he turn this dream into reality? In 1962, Phil moved back in with his parents. He felt like his life was at a standstill. He needed to act. He and a friend decided to travel the world. Their journey took them across Europe, Asia, and finally to Hawaii, where Phil attempted to sell encyclopedias, unsuccessfully. Then, he decided to go to Japan alone. There, he discovered the Tiger shoe by Onitsuka and had a bold idea. He introduced himself as an American shoe distributor and, on the spot, invented a company name, Blue Ribbon Sports. Onitsuka liked the proposal and sent samples to the United States. Phil returned home full of hope, but months passed with no news. He began to fear he had been deceived. When the shoes finally arrived, Phil showed them to Bowerman, who was impressed. Together they decided to launch Blue Ribbon Sports and purchased 300 pairs of shoes. There was a problem. No store wanted to sell them. Phil had to improvise, selling sneakers directly from the trunk of his car at running events. In 3 months, he sold everything. The business grew, but soon things would become complicated with Onitsuka. Delays in deliveries and declining product quality worried Phil and Bowerman. They needed to make a decision, continue relying on Onitsuka or create their own brand. Bowerman suggested they start designing their own shoes. He was already modifying footwear to improve runners' performance. Thus, the legendary Cortez model was born. Onitsuka sensed something was happening and attempted to buy 51% of Blue Ribbon. Phil refused and realized at that moment that he needed to create his own brand. This was how Nike and the iconic swoosh logo were born. Knowing that Onitsuka would cut off supplies, Phil rushed to find a new manufacturer. When he finally succeeded, he knew he was standing before the biggest opportunity of his life. In the 1970s, Phil had to face the US government, which attempted to impose a $25 million import tax. Determined, he hired one of the best lawyers in the country and managed to reduce the fine to $9 million. Despite the legal battle, Nike continued to grow. Phil remained focused on his true goal, making Nike the biggest sports brand in the world. Nike began sponsoring athletes like Michael Jordan, becoming the most valuable sports brand globally. Phil knew that innovation was key and invested heavily in research to create revolutionary sneakers. The company also expanded into sports apparel and accessories, solidifying its industry leadership. In 1980, Nike went public, making Phil a millionaire. But he knew that true success came from the hard work of the entire team. In the 1990s, Nike was accused of using child labor and exploiting workers in overseas factories. The scandal tarnished its reputation and took years to overcome. Phil took steps to improve working conditions and began investing in social initiatives. Even so, criticism persisted. He knew there was still much to be done. Nike learned to turn controversy into marketing respect. The campaign with Colin Kaepernick generated billions in brand value. Phil continued betting on innovation, launching smart footwear and high-tech clothing. He expanded Nike into digital fitness and esports, ensuring its market leadership. After 40 years at the helm of Nike, Phil retired, confident that the company would continue growing and innovating. If you enjoyed Nike's story, get ready to uncover Nestlé's dark secrets. Check out the video on the Millonarios Invisivis channel and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any revelations. As Nike would say, just do it.